What's up? So today I've got all the Carcass albums right here. I finally got them all. I recently just got Heartwork, which unfortunately is just the booklet and the CD, but that's really all you need. The thing that pisses me off is all of these are digipacks besides Recapitulation. But anyways, I guess I'm just gonna talk about them all in order first. So Recapitulation, the debut, it's a great album. It's really, the production is not really good at all. You can't make out the riffs as clearly as I would like to for Carcass, because the riffs are like my favorite part of Carcass. I like this cover more than like the gore collage, easily, but I don't know. There's, I think, 22 songs. There's like two of them that are like less than 30 seconds, I think, so it's not super long. I think it's only like a 40-minute album despite being 22 songs. But yeah, look at that track list. That's fucking long. Definitely Carcass at their most like primal phase. Very like blast oriented, like grind oriented, because it's gore grind. It's like pretty much the start of gore grind. I know some people it's like a debate, but who really cares? It's pretty much just the start of gore grind. But it's a great album. There's really good riffs on here if you can decipher them. The vocals are really raw. The entire thing's really raw. It's a very, like, I didn't like it when I first heard it. I kind of thought it was just like cacophonous, like noise, but I really like it. There's really good riffs on here. My favorite songs have to be Maggot Colony's a good one. Feast on Dismembered Carnage, Psychopathologist, Burnt to a Crisp, Oxidized Razor Masticator is one of the best ones. Definitely not their best, but still a very good album. I come back to it a decent amount. But yeah, that's Recapitulation from, I think, 1988. And then this one, Symphonies of Sickness, from 89. I hate the Earache Digipacks. All you get is one little flimsy thing of cardboard. No booklet, no nothing like that. I mean, I guess you don't really need Carcass lyrics. Carcass lyrics are fun to read, though, because they're so, like, surgical and shit. Like, it's really weird terms. Even the titles on both of these have just, like, some very weird words that you would have never... that most people won't, like, know. Like, mucopurulence excretor. Microwaved utero gestation. Like, it's... obviously, they're not trying to say anything interesting with the lyrics, but they are really well written for being, like, dumb, like, gory shit. They use really weird words. They obviously know what they're talking about, even if it's, like, weird. But, this album is much more death metal-y than, grindy, but still pretty similar. Way better mix, even though it's not perfect. But, songs like Recapitulation have that, like, iconic intro. And Exhumed to Consume has that really cool slowdown, with the really good guitar solo. Bill Steer's a phenomenal guitar player. I think I already said this before, but the riffs are primarily why I listen to Carcass, and the solos, but yeah. And they're just great songwriters. Rupture and Purulence is a good intro. They kind of go stupid with the vocals. Like, at one part, they just go like, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's you can tell that they're kind of not taking it insanely seriously, but the music is still... well written. Best songs on here for me: Recapitulation, Exhumed to Consume, Ruptured and Purulence, Embryonic Necropsy and Devourment's really good too. Another really good album. You can tell it's more matured and more defined than Recapitulation, but I don't know. I like this one better, but I know people that like really, 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 really love Recapitulation, and that's their favorite, but to me, this is better. And then Necroticism, 1991. Actually, the title is Necroticism Descanting the Insalubrious. I googled it one time. I forget what it means, but yeah. They actually don't have their names on this one. They have really long titles. Like, for example, I think that's Michael Amott, because it's either Bill Steer or Michael Amott. I can't tell. Actually, that might be Bill Steer. That might be Bill Steer. He is gratuitously brutal asphyxiator of ulcerated pyoxanthus goiters. I think that's saying that right. And vitiating visceras. It's hard. It's really hard to look at how small that shit is. The sick, sanguine, grotesque garrots of osteoporosis, entrailed discouragement, and cankerous chyme croaks. You can kind of see that they're saying he does vocals and guitar, but a really long-winded way of saying it. Anyways, behind the disc, you've got some pictures. It's a collage of band photos. There's, the fuck's his name? Why can't I think of his name? Jeff Walker. There's a back. There's some. I don't even want to know what that fucking picture is. It's like a skull with some shit, and then there's like a sink or some sort of. It might be like an autopsy table. I have no clue. But anyways, this one is much more technical. I think it's their most technical album ever, honestly. This one's, what's the word I'm trying to use here? It's very, like, precise. It's very, like, they're very tight as a band here. Because Putrefaction is, like, sloppy as hell, and that's kind of the charm of it. But this one is very tight, very, like, almost, like, calculated. Improvigation's a great opener, kind of a long song, but whatever. Corporal Jigsaw Quandary is, I think, one of their most popular songs ever. It's basic, but it's a hard-hitting song. Symposium of Sickness is fucking great. Pedigree Butchery is one of my favorites. Incarnated Solvent Abuse has one of the dumbest music videos I've ever seen. I think it's like it's so funny to watch. Carney's Cacophony is a really slowed down one, kind of like meandering a little bit. Lavaging Expectorate of Lysergide Composition, that's a good one. Forensic Clinicism, the Sanguine Article, that's one of the best. And then this has songs from the Tools of the Trade EP, the song Tools of the Trade, Pyosissified, Still Rotten to the Gore, Hepatic Tissue Fermentation 2, and then Corporal Jigsaw, Live in Tokyo, Incarnated Solvent Abuse, Live in Tokyo. This album is phenomenal. Start to finish, very, very good, very great, weird riffs. Like Incarnated Solvent Abuse, that first riff is really fucking weird. Very much a step up. This is one of their most easily, like, accessible production-wise, you know what I mean? Like, it's very, you could get behind it from the production, at least. The music's still a little bit weird, but, like, Corporal Jigsaw Quandary, that could be somebody's first death metal song, you know what I mean? It kind of a weird choice, but it would work. This album's great, like I said, 10 out of 10. Then Heartwork. I think the first Carcass song I ever heard was Heartwork, either that or Corporal Jigsaw Quandary, maybe Exhumed to Consume, I don't know. But I've always loved this album. Very melodic, obviously. It's kind of one of the first Melodeath albums. I'm sure stuff predates it, obviously. Like, I feel like people could have been doing Melodeath in, like, 91, 92, 93, but this is where a lot of people got inspiration to start forming Melodeath bands, and it's very good. Compared to the first album, you could see that it's the same band that made Necroticism, but it's such a far cry from the band that made Putrefaction. Buried Dreams has a great opening riff, very slow song for their standards. Carnal Forge, good song. I'm trying to remember how it goes. I'm looking at the lyrics. No Love Lost is a great one, very groovy, bluesy, great solo on that one. Heartwork is the standout song, definitely. The intro solo, the harmonized guitars, the later solo, the sound of it's such a fucking great song. This album is very melodic, obviously very bluesy. Embodiment is a good song too. I'm looking at another song. Blind Bleeding the Blind was a good one. Oh, Doctrinal Expletives is one of the best too. It's kind of underrated. But yeah, this album is great. It's not their best, I don't think, but it gets a little bit slow around like the last half, the first half is definitely better. The first 5 songs are probably the best besides Doctrinal Expletives, but I think it's a very front-loaded album. But then again, just my opinion. And then we've got Swan Song with by far like the weirdest album cover Carcass ever had, and their first 2 are like fucking gore collages. I have really no clue what this is. I want to look at it closer. I don't know. I don't hate it, but it just doesn't look like a Carcass album cover. It looks more like a Napalm Death cover, or like some weird Netherlands band or something. The disc on this is actually pretty cool though. It's them kind of like the dollar bill, but just with Carcass. And you've got band. Oh wait, there's that guy on the cover, and then it just says Swan Song. This one is very. Well, there's a song called Polarize. It's very polarizing. Because I know a lot of people think this album's fucking hot garbage. A lot of people think it's great. I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's really good. Keep on Rotting in the Free World is a very groovy song. Kind of harkens back to Corporal Jigsaw Quandary with the double bass work. Tomorrow Belongs to Nobody's pretty good. Black Star, I don't really like it that much. I think it's kind of a little bit boring, but it's not awful. Cross My Heart, I kind of don't remember. Child's Play was good. Room 101 is really good. Polarize is good. Generation Hex is a great song. Firm Hands, really good. Rock the Vote's a great one. Don't Believe a Word and Go to Hell are great. This album's good. It's kind of takes Heartwork in a new direction, and kind of a more like death and roll, I guess, kind of style. They never really became like a death and roll band, but I guess it's kind of close on this one. I still like it a lot, but I could see why a lot of people don't like it, but whatever. That was 1996. Heartwork was 1993, I think. Yeah, or 95. I'm pretty sure 93. Anyways, this album came out in 2013, so they had a long hiatus. I think it was something to do with Ken Owen and how he got into like an accident, because I know he had a brain tumor or something, and he can only like program drums now. I don't think he can actually like physically play drums. Really sad whatever happened to him. I don't remember, but Surgical Steel is a great album. Much more like, it kind of sounds like if Heartwork and Necroticism kind of like fused together, you know what I mean? Not as memorable as Necroticism, definitely not, but it's still good. I'm trying to take out the. See, I like this one because you can actually like look through stuff, and there's actually like cool imagery. There's like saws and stuff like that. You know, like cleavers and syringes and surgical steel. I don't know. This album is great. This is interesting. Okay, I don't know why there's an AK-47 there. I know that one of the songs is Captive Bolt Pistol, but whatever. They have a new. So I said they have a new drummer, Dan Wilding, and on live guitar Ben Ash. Okay, so it's pretty much the same lineup as Bill Steer and Jeff Walker, but they just Ken Owen, for whatever reason I don't remember, cannot or could not at that time play drums. Great album, very melodic, more technical than Heartwork, like I said, or that's what I meant by saying it was similar to like Necroticism. 1985 is like a instrumental thing that they have. Just to intro, Thrasher's Abattoir is a very punky kind of song because it's like thrash. The Granulating Dark Satanic Mills has got to be my favorite. The dual guitar work on that is great. Captive Bolt Pistol's good. The song Surgical Steel is really good. Congealed Cloud of Blood is good. Need to re-listen to this one, but it's great. It's I feel like it's overrated because a lot of people really, really, really love it, but it's great. It definitely deserves praise. Lastly, Torn Arteries. This album is similar to Surgical Steel, but I just prefer Surgical Steel way more. I find this album to be really, really not memorable. The only song I can remember is, I'm going to have to even look up what that song is. The Scythe's Remorseless Swing. Oh, Wake Up and Smell the Carcass is pretty groovy. I will say that's a good song. It's a good song, or it's a good album, but it's kind of one of those albums. At least I haven't listened to it in a while, honestly, but it's one of those albums where it goes in one ear out the other. Also, this album cover is fucking awful. I don't like it. But that's kind of a picky thing, you know what I mean? That's not really too much to do with the actual music. It rots over time. Like, there's pictures of the same thing, and then at the end you've got whatever the fuck that is that looks like a pig. I don't know, but it's still a good album. It's not like awful. It's not like something like 6 Feet Under where it's just fucking irredeemable trash, but it's just not as good for Carcass standards. It's easily the weakest link in their discography. But I bought it, and I've listened to it before I bought it, so it's obviously like worth listening to. But I'd say for my ranking, Necroticism, I put Heartwork right here. Okay, Necroticism, then Symphonies, then Heartwork, then Recaputrefaction, and then Swan Song. Actually, yeah, Swan Song, and then Surgical Steel, and then Torn Arteries. And I think that's a fair list, but I don't know. I'm always open to hearing other people's opinions, because I think that I just think it's useful to have good conversations about music. But yeah, all good albums, all stuff I revisit pretty frequently, especially the first couple. And they have so much influence from everybody, to the gore grind people to the metal death people, which is weird because it's like, I feel like a lot of people who are into, like, super into metal, like, oh, gore grind fans are weird or whatever, because a lot of them are, I will say that. But I feel like they're kind of like opposite side. It's kind of like the opposite sides of death metal, but Carcass found a way to merge them, I guess. And it really works. Their sound is, like I said, it's been emulated by so many people. You've got the county medical examiners, like pharmacists, pathologists, all those kind of bands that just really dick ride the first couple Carcass albums, emulate that like gore grind style. Obviously, with more, I feel like they're able to achieve more now by making those albums, because they have more like choices, you know what I mean? Because like this album, they didn't have, like, they kind of had to work with the money and the studio stuff that they had, you know what I mean? They don't have access to as much stuff as people do now, where they have like Pro Tools and they have like amp sims, and I think there were pitch shifters used on, well, obviously there were, but like better ones. But anyways, yeah, Carcass is a great band. They definitely deserve to be recognized as one of the best, and they are. They deserve all the praise they get. In fact, you can't really see it because this thing's covering them, but that flag is Necroticism. I've had it for a while. Yeah, one of my favorite death metal bands for sure. That's all I gotta say.